Hey everybody, it's Toys of Arkham here. Back with another review, and I'd like to thank those of you who are supporting the channel. You both know who you are, and yeah, something different for me, and another one that I have to blame Mr. Dean Knight on, because I wouldn't have known about this character at all if it wasn't for him. And so if you don't know Dean, he does a lot of reviews of 1/6 scale figures and many other types of figures, and he's the best in the business without a doubt, and he has been an influence on my own collection by, I suppose, introducing me to characters I wouldn't have thought I'd be interested in, and selling me products in relation to it. And I'm spending money on things that I don't really need as usual. But anyway, here we have Shin Godzilla, and he is a 30 centimeter X plus. Yuji Sakai, I think, is the sculptor of this magnificent piece, and it is a static vinyl statue. So in other words, it doesn't move. It is a non-posable. It's like a just as I said, it's just a statue, but it is as I think you'll see through this camera, it is stunning. Now, there are three versions of this statue. There's a standard version, then there's the G-Store translucent version, and there's a Rick exclusive. And basically the difference is the standard version has still an amazing painted version, and then there's a translucent, which means the underbody is made of red vinyl, and when you put light through it, it looks like it's glowing. And then you've got the Rick version, which has a light up feature inside it, so you plug it in and the tail and the dorsal fins and all that light up, which is really cool. Now, I had watched Dean's videos, I'd watched other videos, and I had bought a couple of other Shin Godzilla figures, but I thought this one looked absolutely stunning, so I tried to hunt it down. And of course on eBay the prices were extortionate, and I ended up going on Amazon, and I found it at a pretty decent price. But the problem I had was that I wasn't sure which version it was. So I suppose, went with my gut instinct and said, look, it's a good deal, and whichever version I get, I'm sure I'll be happy with it, because they all look amazing anyway. But I had a suspicion that it would be the standard version. Now, if I had a choice between all three versions, the one for me would have been the G-Store exclusive translucent version, which has basically if you shine light up through it, it kind of glows, which is really cool. So anyway, this arrived yesterday, and immediately when I picked it up out of the box, I thought, my God, I think I'm after getting lucky here. I think I have the translucent G-Store exclusive version. And then I looked at the box and I said, right, is there something that's, I suppose, different about this box to the standard box? So I looked up on eBay the G-Store exclusive versions, and I noticed the writing on that and certain sort of identification marks that would have, I suppose, unless you speak Chinese, you'd be able to tell. Anyway, I got extremely lucky here for the first time ever. This is the G-Store exclusive, so I am so happy with this. This is the one where if you put a light in behind it, which we will see here probably. Now I haven't got the room dark, but essentially if you put a light behind this figure, you'll see the translucence effect coming through, or even at the front you can see the red pops, like it glows when you put light on it. So you can see the paint on this is absolutely phenomenal. So it looks like molten lava coming through when the light catches it, and it really glows. And again, on the dorsal fins, if I go the other way, you can see how they really light up, and that's all the way up the tail. Sorry, this is not really working through the camera, but you can trust me, it is the case. I'll take that out of the way. So yeah, I got the G-Store exclusive version, and it is amazing. So this is him in his 4th form in the movie. So it's the final battle, and at this point he has been agitated constantly throughout the movie, and he's gotten to a point where he's able to fire like lasers out of his back, out of his mouth, and out of this grotesque tail at the back. And he's also changed color from red on its dorsals to purple. And what I like about this figure is, as I said, it's 30 centimeters, so it's like a 1/6 scale nearly, but not 1/6 scale, if you know what I mean. It's around the same height of a standard 1/6 scale figure. And the tail comes attached, and a lot of the Shin Godzilla figures, the tails are really long out the back, because as he walked in the movie, the tail seemed to go out to about here, let's say, just trailed off, whereas when he was in battle mode, which is this pose, his tail scooped up to a point where it was firing out a laser. So it just worked out really well, because I like that particular compact sort of pose. It's not a space killer, and it does fit safely and comfortably into a Toho. So as you can see, I have a bit of a backdrop here, and I have these cool little 3D printed model mini buildings. That was from iPop Designs on eBay. They make them, and they really add to the diorama when you put them in the Toho, and it gives a sort of a, I suppose, a really cool environment for Godzilla to sit in. This particular Godzilla was bigger than most Godzillas in scale. He was absolutely enormous. I think he's still a little bit too big for this type of scale building. I think this is 1/35th scale. I think that's more for the SH Figure Arts types figures, which is this. I think that's kind of more that size. But look at this. This is the SH Figure Monster Art, should I say? It's like night and day. Look at that compared to that. Like, that's just a big chunk of plastic, and this is just exquisite, like absolutely exquisite. So anyway, let's have a closer look at this. So the mouth is open here, and the laser comes out of here, but you can just look at the paintwork on this. Oh my god, it's like lava, rock, the aggressive stance. It just speaks so much to the pain and aggression he's feeling, all mixed up. It's like, would you ever F off and leave me alone? I'm just going for a walk here. I just happen to be stomping on your entire civilization, society, city as I walk along. But sure, look at, I'm minding my own business as I'm doing it, so just leave me alone. Bit like when we walk along a field and we're stomping on a load of ants or insects as we walk along. Imagine they all ganged up and started biting and shooting and doing things. You'd probably be like this guy. But anyway, I digress. So let's spin him around here. I should say he comes with a stand as well, so it's a little stand at the back, this thing here, and you basically put that in just to prop him up a little bit more straight. But if you don't, the tail will keep him standing, no problem. There's also another horrible ugly stand that goes from the top of the tail down, and that's more for if you're living in a very hot climate, and the tail has the ability, I believe, over time to sort of droop down, so it just keeps it in that safe position, and I don't need that. I live in Ireland and it's cold sometimes, most of the time. But look at this for detail. So his feet have these beautiful toenails. There's actually other sort of nails coming out through, and then there's, I just love that red between the cracks of that black paint, and then up to the top where he has that lower jaw split open, which is a completely different expression to the way he is for most of the movie. And he has this jut out at the chest, but again, the purple between the cracks, I mean, it's just absolutely stunning. Let's spin him around a little bit. Again, that translucent effect just makes it look like fire. There's his eye, the little wonky eye, and that's normal because he did have kind of weird looking eyes in the movie. Again, all these colors are just stunning. All the way down. There's not a bit of this that is ignored or is, there's no sloppy paintwork here. This is just elite paintwork. All the way through the tail. As it swoops up, again, look at that kind of red glow you can see with the light bouncing off it. All the way up to this tail. That tail actually has a face in it apparently, but you would have to nearly have it turned the other way around to see it. So it's an upside down face, I suppose, as you're seeing it there. Yep, he's in pain, but he's annoyed, he's peed off, he's angry, he's everything, and he's going to destroy your world. I suppose given the size of him, you nearly need two of those sort of backdrops to really let him breathe in that diorama setup. But these iPop design little landscape mini buildings are very cool to make him really at home in his environment as you would see him in the movie. So as I said, this is the fourth form. There is a first form of the Shin Godzilla, which is I suppose like just a tail on its own, and then he evolves into like a almost a crawling creature, and then he stands up, and that's another form he takes, and then there's a final form which is this, and then he turns to a sort of a stone as well. In terms of source material, the movie's fantastic. I think it won the Chinese version of the Oscars the year it came out. And it's a very realistic take on how a government would officially react to something like this actually existing and how they would deal with it. And you can see the various, I suppose, decisions they make as the movie progresses and the strategies that are taken on to try and take this guy down. And of course, what's amazing about Shin Godzilla is that no matter what you do, he will evolve immediately to react and develop new defense systems to answer whatever offensive strategy you've used against him. So in essence, he's indestructible. And that's a fascinating concept in itself. his own organic reactions are outthinking the human's ability to defeat him. So you wouldn't want one of these guys for real walking through your neighborhood. That's for sure. So when you're buying a figure like this, of course, you got to take into consideration that it's a statue. What is it you want it for? If it's the best representation of a Shin Godzilla, I'd say this is the thing for you. But if you're looking for a posable, sort of more along the lines of a SH monster art figure, of course, this isn't for you. But you're going to be looking at nasty seams, and it just won't look as good as this. The joints on those SH monster arts are pretty obvious on the figures, whereas this, it's seamless. It's absolutely seamless. Of course, the downside is that you're stuck with this pose, but what an incredible pose. And depending on which way you put it, it will look different if you just simply twist it around to different angles in your detail from time to time, or wherever it is that you're displaying it. But I can tell you, if you're into figure photography, there's so many ways you can catch this with lighting that just looks phenomenal. And of course, if you have these sorts of things around them in a diorama, you can really make very realistic photographs of this particular piece. There is nothing I would criticize about this. Absolutely nothing. I am so glad I got it. It's unbelievable. So that about wraps it up, guys. Yeah, for the most part, I like Batman stuff, but I do like my Terminators, Aliens, Predators, and creatures, sci-fi, that sort of stuff. Movies that take you out of your usual day-to-day life to another world and de-stress you. And who would have thought a monster like this thrashing a city and essentially being unbeatable would make for such viewing where I wouldn't be stressed out. Who would want this thing coming at you? Yeah. Nasty. Okay, well, I hope you enjoyed the review, guys. If you did, please like, maybe comment if you wish, and also if you want, subscribe. I'll talk to you soon. Bye bye.